When I approached Tom in 2017 with kind of my take on the movie, I knew there were two requirements. One, the story had to be deeply emotional. And number two, the film had to be shot practically. So I knew those were two essential elements to Tom, and that's what we're doing. First thing we had to do was develop a motion picture camera that could fit in the tight cockpit of an F-18. So my DP and I, Claudio Miranda, worked closely with Sony to develop a new camera system called the Venice, which allows us to put very high quality motion picture cameras, in fact 6 of them, inside the cockpit of the F-18 to capture all the action of the film. So we have 4 cameras on the actor themselves. We have a wide angle, a tight, 2 over the shoulders, and then we have 2 cameras pointing forward, capturing the forward view. So we have 6 IMAX quality cameras inside the cockpit with the actors while they run the scenes. The second thing we had to do was get the cast trained to actually be in a Navy airplane. So they had to go through the Navy training course to be qualified to sit in an F-18, be prepared to eject, to deploy a parachute, to swim in the ocean if they happen to land in there. So they had to go through all that training. Then Tom created a training program for them that took them from Cessnas, which is kind of a small propeller-driven aircraft, into an aerobatic airplane called an Extra 300, into an L-39, which is a small jet, aerobatic jet, and then eventually getting them into F-18s, because they need to have the physical stamina to endure the intense forces on their body while doing some of these maneuvers. This film is a culmination of all of his experience from Top Gun through all the Mission Impossibles. Everything he's learned in making action films for 3 decades has kind of culminated in the making of this film. First of all, we're capturing in a way that no film has ever done before. We are working with the greatest pilots in the world, Top Gun pilots, to actually fly these sequences for us. I've spent hours with these pilots going through the choreography of every scene to make sure that it's technically accurate. Very exciting. We're using tools that no one's used before, including a fighter jet that has a camera mounted on the nose of it to shoot our air-to-air sequences. We're using very high-tech tools, but we're using them in a kind of old-school way. There's no way we could have made this film without the participation of the U.S. Navy. They've been an amazing partner on this film. We've been able to integrate our scenes into their training program so that while they're training the pilots, we're also getting shots for our film. So the partnership has been incredible. We've gotten to go to places that no one's ever seen before, bases that have never been shot on film or people have not even been able to see. We've gone to Whidbey Island, Lemoore Naval Air Station, Fallon, here where we are right now, China Lake, North Island. We've been out on the Teddy Roosevelt aircraft carrier shooting, so we've gotten to see all these aspects of the Navy, and they've given us their best pilots to fly these sequences, so without their help, we would have never been able to pull this off. Well, it's all about finding the right story. The first film was a rite of passage story for Maverick, and I felt like this film also needed to be a rite of passage story. Obviously, Maverick's in a different point of his life, but the kind of fundamental relationship in our film is between Maverick and Rooster, played by Mάιλς Τέλερ, who is Goose's son. And to me, the reuniting or reconciliation of these two characters really formed the emotional spine of this story and really gave, I think, all of us the confidence that this was the right story and now is the time to tell it. I mean, to be working with Tom Cruise and Jerry Bruckheimer, you know, both whose films I grew up watching, it's been an incredible honor. I learned so much from both of them every day on set. Couldn't ask for better partners on a film, especially this one. It's been an amazing experience, and I feel very lucky. There is a couple sequences in this film where we got special permission to bring in a very specific pilot who is cleared to fly the F-18 Super Hornet at 30 feet above the ground. So there is one sequence where you're going to be so low, you can't believe it. I was on the ground as it flew over our head, and I can tell you it was one of the most intense experiences I've ever had on a film set. I think Maverick, in some ways, is the character that made Tom a superstar. So I think for him, this film holds a very special place in his heart, knowing that it's kind of the film that kicked things off for him, you know, kicked it off to a whole new level. I think that Maverick is very close to Tom's. Maverick and Tom have a lot of similarities in terms of their personality. They're always pushing the envelope and trying to see what they're, you know, always pushing the envelope of what they're capable of, pushing the envelope of the machine or airplane or what, you know, whatever it is that they're currently in. So it's amazing to see Tom return to that role, put that jacket on, put the sunglasses on, and see him go back into that character. You're going to experience aviation in a way that you've never experienced it before. You're going to be lower, faster, more thrilling. We're really working hard to provide the ultimate big screen experience.